Good evening, yarnies, dirty hookers, and fiber fiends. How is everybody this evening? I'm pretty good. Yes, I cut my hair. Finally. It was needing it. Not that I have much hair. Hey there, spoopy skeletons. Hey there, llama. How are you today? Tonight? This morning? This afternoon? Whatever it is in your part of the world. I'm doing pretty good. Um, Pretty okay day today. It started out kind of I don't want to say a disappointment. Me and Clay Miko were planning on going to our local chapter of Project Linus's meeting. They were supposed to have a meeting today at 10 a.m. And we had 6 blankets that we were going to drop off while we were there. And we pull up, get out, and walking up, and one of the other members said, "Oh, well, the meeting's been canceled and postponed to 1 a.m. To 1 p.m. Well, like, great. So they packed everything back up, went to the store or whatever, and came back. And then when we got back here, Grammy ETC said that she got a message saying it was completely canceled. So I guess there was a communication error or whatever. There's a mishap. So, no donations to Project Linus, no working on any projects they would have there, and no free yarn. But I think they're supposed to be having a meeting this Wednesday, and maybe I'll go. We'll see. So, there's that. Llama says we played a lot of Minecraft, doing really good progress on our Skyblock challenge. Very cool. I've never played Skyblock. When I play that game, I play usually in either creative or survival on, like, the easiest setting where, like, no mobs can kill me. Because I suck at those types of games. I'm more of a builder, I guess. And I usually play it more of like a meditative type thing. I do a lot of mining. Just like, not really building anything. A lot of time I'll just sit there and just clear out an area. And it's just like a way to, I guess, decompress and zen. It's just the click, 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 the repetitive type things. So that's all really was going on today. Yeah. So tonight, there will be I'm not going to be working on any Project Linus blankets. You said that you're playing on normal, started on tiny floating dirt island with one drake. Yep. See, I would always probably end up falling off that little island up in the sky, and yeah, I would not have fun with that. But that's the beauty of that game. You can play it pretty much however you want to play it. There's no right or wrong way to play that game. I'm not going to be working on Project Linus blanket tonight. Tonight will be a continuation of last night when we did our torturous leaf edge granny. Let me see if I can find my sample for our leaf edge granny. That was a real pain to do. And then we did, gotta get my samples. Then last night we did our simple little, I'm calling it a simple leaf. I don't know what tree it would be from. I'm not up on my tree, on my arboretum knowledge. So we did a simple leaf when we did the maple leaf. So that's what we did last night. Tonight we're going to do the acorn leaf. Yeah, the acorn leaf. The oak leaf, the acorn, and then the spiral leaf granny square. So without any delay, I guess we can start on the next. And just so this wouldn't be too easy, we threw out the lava and water buckets that you get at the start. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, that's not my my gameplay. Mine's more chill and relaxed, like a backseat type gameplay. So let's switch on over. So this is the oak leaf applique we're going to do tonight. This is my favorite one out of all of them. I like oak leaves. I think I've always thought they had an interesting shape, and there's different types of oaks. So this is just a generic oak leaf. I don't know what specific one. I don't think there is that this goes to a specific oak species, but pretty interesting and easy to do. It's a one round. It's complicated. There's a lot of stitches in that round, but one round. All right, I'm going to be using this yellow cotton yarn. So it's like our leaf turned from green, and this happens to go to yellow. And I got lint or something in my eye. Just normal Minecraft feels a little overwhelming to me. There's so much you can do that I just feel stuck. Skyblock has clear objectives to work towards. Yeah, most definitely. There is a lot to do that you could do in there. Alrighty. So to start, and this pattern is a free pattern from YouTube from HappyBerry Crochet. And the link for it, if you type in ! oak leaf, and that will give you the link for this pattern. It's the same channel where I got the other two leaf appliques. Both of these came from the same channel. Alrighty. We're going to put a slip knot on our hook. And we're going to chain 15. Let me zoom in a tad bit. So we're going to chain 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Same thing when I did the little oval leaf. When I work into the chain, I'm only going to be working into one loop instead of under two loops, because when you come back on it, same thing on both leaves, when you come back on it and work back on the chain, it's going to be a lot easier to get into that chain if you do it this way. But you don't have to. So, in the second chain from the hook, we're going to get a single crochet, if I can get under the first loop. Second chain gets a single. And then the next four are going to get singles. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. The next 4 chains are going to get half double crochets. So 1, 2, let me see something real quick. Okay, that was 2, 3, and 4. I might have been mistaken, this might be a 2-round repeat, but still, yeah, I was mistaken. It's been a while since I've done my my sample. So 15 chains. Second from the hook gets a single. The next 4 get singles, so there's 5 singles. And then the next 4 after that each get half doubles. And then the next 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, are all going to get double crochets. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we got 1 stitch left. Three doubles in the last chain that you worked. Oh, wait a minute, we don't go in the very last chain? Okay. So in the last chain that we worked, we're going to put 3 more doubles. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're also going to put one more. So there's technically 5 doubles in that last chain there. So we've done half of that round. Now in the next chain, which is right there, it's going to get a double, and then the next 3 stitches, the next 3 chains, will also get doubles. So we have a total of 4 in a row, all in separate stitches. So that was 2, 3, and 4. The next 4 stitches, or chains, are going to get half doubles. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then the next 5 are each going to get singles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we've got this, I don't know what you would call this shape, this oblong shape. Thinner at one end, thicker at the other. So that's the center of our leaf. Okay. In our next stitch, the actual stitch, which is right here, we're going to put a single crochet, and then also in that same stitch a half double. The next stitch will get 2 doubles, 1 and 2. We're going to chain 2, and let me look at my sample real quick. Let me see how I did that, just to refresh myself. Yeah. And into that same stitch, we're going to do a slip stitch. So let me show that again. So in that stitch, we do 2 doubles, chain 2, and then we're going to do a slip stitch into that very same stitch. Hey Tatter, busy day for me, but I'm dropping a lurk real quick. Have a great stream. Thank you. You have a good evening if I don't talk to you. And thank you for the lurk. So in that stitch, we put 2 doubles, chain 2, and then slip stitched into that stitch. So essentially what that's making is 3 double crochets, but instead of ending at the top of the stitch, we're ending into the base stitch from the row previous. We're going to slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. So that's 1, and then 2. So we slip stitch into 2. In the very next stitch gets a single, a double, and a triple. So we get a single, a double, and a triple in that stitch. In the following, we'll get a triple, and now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and in the same stitch that last triple was in, we'll get a slip stitch. So we're making the lobes of our oak leaf. The next 2 stitches are each going to get a slip stitch, 1 and 2. The next stitch gets a single, a double, and a triple. So there's the single, a double, and the triple. The very next stitch gets a triple. We're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And the same stitch down here that we worked in where we put the triple is going to get a slip stitch. Hopefully you can see this. It's probably too washed out because of my dang lighting. I got to figure out how to make a light diffuser. I got to look at some YouTube videos. The next 2 stitches are each going to get slip stitches. So 1 and 2. The very next we'll get a single and a half double. So we do a single and a half double. We're now going to chain 2, and that same stitch where that single and the half double we're in gets a slip stitch. Oops, come on. We're going to slip stitch into the next 5 stitches. So there's, whoops, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So we've just gone around the large end of the leaf. The next very following stitch will get a single and a half double. Then we're going to chain 2, and the same stitch the single and the half double was in gets a slip stitch. The next 2 stitches are slip stitches. 1, 2. The next stitch gets a single, a double, and a triple. A single, a double, and a triple, all in that same next stitch. The following stitch gets a triple. And now we're going to chain 3. And where that triple was in, where we put that triple, that same stitch gets a slip stitch. The next 2 stitches each get slip stitches. 1 and 2. The next stitch gets a single, a double, and a triple. So there's the single, there's the double, and a triple. Next stitch gets a triple. Now we're going to chain 3, and where that triple was put into that stitch gets a slip stitch. The next 2 stitches are slip stitches. So slip in that one and then slip into the next. The next stitch is a single and a half double. So a single and a half double in 1 stitch. Chain, no chains. The very next gets 2 doubles. Whoop. Not a half double. Let's do a double. So 1 and 2. We're going to chain 2. And that same stitch where those 2 doubles were in is a slip stitch. And I might have... That didn't turn out too right. My lobes are off a little bit, but it's a deformed leaf. But that's okay. Yeah, my pattern's off a little bit. Yeah, I made a mistake somewhere. Well, we're just going to keep going. So we're going to do a little modification here. My lobes should be across from each other. They're kind of offset, but that's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip stitch just for the modification to the end here. I must have counted wrong or did something wrong, but not all leaves are perfectly uniform in the same shape. So I just slip stitch to the end, and now we're going to work on our stem. We're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we've got our 5 chains. We're going to slip stitch in the second from the hook, and then the remaining chains we're going to slip stitch. Split the yarn. It is cotton that I'm using. And now we're going to slip stitch into the stitch there on the main body of the leaf. And this is where you would finish it off and weave in your ends. So you kind of get an oak leaf. Again, this is a mutation. I think I might have changed it up a little bit. But you kind of get the idea. Again, if you watch the video, you might be understand a little bit better. Sorry I wasn't able to get it perfect. But if it's together, you're probably not going to notice that much of a difference if you do a bunch of them. Hey there, Fairy Dust. How are you? So that is our oak leaf applique. And that's all there is to it. It's a simple 2-round repeat. I think it looks better in an acrylic or a wool instead of the cotton. The cotton's a little too open. Maybe if I use a smaller hook, it would look better. But for demonstration purposes, that's why I chose the cotton. But that is the oak leaf applique by HappyBerry Crochet on the YouTubes. Alright, we're going to switch over. We're going to disable that. I got to find the other one. And I got to do this here. Scheduled to work my days off today. Just got home from work. Oh, wow. Did you have a good day? I'm going to do a little updating. Let's see. Okay. I now have changed the thing. What do you call it? The title of this thing to the, where'd I put it? Oh, it's right here. To our next project. Sat for 12 hours watching a fence. In essence, I crocheted a lot. Sounds thrilling. So we're going to move on from our oak leaf. And to go with the oak leaf, I'm going to use that color and that color. I know it's a bright green, but these things can be bright green when they're new, when they're still young. This, oh, let me pop it over, pop the thing over. The first time, this is history we're making. The first time here on the channel, we're going to be doing an amigurumi. We're going to do this cute little acorn right now. It's a 2-piece. And we're going to make this. This is also from the YouTube channel HappyBerry Crochet. So it's from the same as this oak leaf. So they do complement each other. They're to scale, so they would work together. Sad thing, my life isn't much more exciting than that. Well, here, tell me about it. I can do it, yep. So we're going to put our little Amy. And again, it's posted in the picture right above me. I think that's a better picture that's there. So we're going to start on the body of the acorn. Most people think acorns are brown. When they start out, they're green. They can be all different colors depending on the species. So I don't know if they're a lime green, but they could be spring green. So we're going to start with the body of our little acorn. The body part is 8 rounds, and these are pretty quick rounds because they're not that large of a piece. It wants me to do the chain 4 slip stitch into the first stitch, and if I remember correctly, let me check something. Chain 8, round 8. We are going to do the chain 4. We're not going to do a magic circle with this, because this chain 4 will be the top of we're going to start at the top of the body of the acorn and work our way down, I think. 6, 12, 18. Yes. Can confirm, had an oak tree in my backyard before it collapsed. Occasionally you would find a fallen acorn that was green. Yep. Plenty of oaks near my house. The baby acorns are cute. Yep. I live in a very mature forest. There's other houses around. It's not like I live like a little house just in the forest by itself. There's other houses, lots of houses around, but it's a very mature forest, and predominantly there's oaks. There's other trees also, but a lot of oaks here. And in our yard, in our front yard, we probably got 4 or 5 very tall oak trees. Alrighty, so we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Also, if you want the YouTube video where I got this from, you type an exclamation point acorn. Is it acorn or acorns? Acorn, just one single acorn. And that will be the video where I got this from. So I've chained 4, and I'm going to slip stitch into the very first chain that I made. Alrighty. Into our ring, we're going to chain 1, and into our ring we're going to put 6 singles. A lot of hickories. So 6 singles into the ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, we've got oak. There's some maple. There's some tulip poplar. There's everything I'm looking outside is oak. There's some evergreens here or there, but a lot of tulip poplar and oak. So we got our 6 singles into our ring. It's not a magic circle. And we're going to slip stitch into our first stitch. So that is round number 1. Again, the body of this is an 8 round pattern. Round 2, we're going to chain 1, and in the first stitch, we're going to put in 2 single crochets, and then we're going to put 2 into every one around. So we're doubling it. So 1, 2, so there's that. So in that stitch, we've got, let me just double check something. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, okay. I went the wrong place. Live in a rural town, plenty of houses that are close by. My oak tree was actually property of the city, and we have reported collapses ASAP because could have gotten in some trouble. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So we're going to go into the next stitch, and we're going to put 2 stitches. You can use a stitch marker if you want. I'm not going to right now. Hey there, Sophie. How are you? We're making a Acorn Amy right now. So 2 into that stitch. So that's 2. We're going to have a total of 12. So that's 2. The next one's going to get 2 more. And that's going to be 4. The next is 2 more. That will be 6. The next 2 will be 2 more. That's 8. The next 2 is 2 more, which would be 9. And the last stitch gets 2 more. Now not 9, 10. And the last stitch will be 12. Our cities are nice. There's trees and greenery pretty much everywhere. Yeah, there's a lot of trees in, not all, but a lot of, even some big cities here in the U.S. have got a lot of green land. Not all. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alrighty. And we're going to slip stitch into that very first stitch of that round. Waiting on groceries. I don't think I'll ever do another pumpkin in a while. It became more of a pain in the butt. Oh. Then you're not going to want to tune in, not tomorrow, but the following week. That's when we're doing pumpkins. So round 2, we just doubled each stitch. So we increased from 6 to 12. So there's 12 stitches in that round. Round number 3, we're going to do chain 1. Let me just double check something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So into the first stitch, we're going to single crochet, and then the next stitch do 2 singles. And that is the repeat all the way around. We're going to have a total of 18. And this one I will put in a stitch marker. 1, 2, and 3. So we did 3 already. The next stitch gets 1. And then the following stitch gets 2. 1 and 2. The next stitch gets 1. And then the next gets 2. 1 and 2. Maybe I'll probably start a new one in a few days. Oh no, I understand. Definitely take a break if you're getting burnt out on it. Next stitch gets 1. The following gets 2. 1 and 2. So we're just adding 6. We're just making a circle right now. 1, and then the next one gets 2. 1 and 2. Believe me, this will become an acorn. Next one gets 1, and then this last stitch gets 2. 1 and 2, and we're going to slip stitch into where we had our stitch marker. Should have 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18 is right here. So now for this next round, we're going to chain 1, and then each stitch is going to get 1. So we're going to do a total of 18 again. So every stitch gets 1 stitch. So there's 1, 2. I'm going to put my stitch marker back into my very first one that I made. I'm still going to count, but that's going to let me know where my first stitch was. So that's what I will slip stitch into. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and then 18, and I'm slip stitching into our very first stitch. So that was round number 4. Round number 5, we're going to start to decrease again. So we've been increasing, and then the last round we kept the same, and now we're going to start to decrease, and this is what's going to form the acorn shape. So we're going to chain 1, and then the next stitch, do a single, and that's my first stitch. So I'm going to put my stitch marker back in. So that first stitch gets a single. Now the next 2 stitches, single crochet 2 together. So it's a simple decrease. So again, to do a single crochet 2 together, put the hook into the first stitch, yarn over, 2 on the hook, go to the next stitch, yarn over, 3 on the hook, yarn over through all 3. That is a single crochet 2 together. And that is the pattern for this round. The next stitch gets 1 single, and then the next 2 are single 2 together. So 1 and 2, yarn over through all 3. 1 by itself, and then the next 2 are 2 together. So 1, 2, yarn over through all 3. 1 by itself, and then 1, and those 2 are together into 1. Hope I'm not confusing you with the single crochet 2 together. Could you give a couple amigurumi tips? Sure. The next one gets 1, and then the next 2 are together. That one gets 1, and this one gets 2 together, and we should have a total of 12. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes, we have 12 stitches. And I'm going to now, and what I did there, when I was working it, it was like this, but when I was working this, I flipped it over. Generally, the image, you want a slightly smaller hook and tight stitches so the filling, oh yeah, definitely, yeah. I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. This Amy doesn't even have any filling, believe it or not. It's hollow inside. I didn't put any filling. So if I crush it, it's going to be crushed. But yeah, definitely you want a smaller hook and tighter stitches so it won't show. So now we've gone down to 12 stitches in the round, and we're going to slip stitch into our first one. Oh, what I was saying, I was working it like this. Inside here are the right side of the fabric. That's the wrong side. So I'm going to flip it out like that. So I'm going to be working now in the shape that it's going to be. Thursday when I have a special guest. Yes, that is planned. It had been postponed a couple times. So Thursday, if everything goes to plan, we will have the guest. So that was round number 5. We got 3 more rounds. Round 6 is we're going to single crochet, and then in each stitch we're going to get 1 single crochet. So there's 1. I'm going to put this back in. So we're just doing a repeat of the round we just did. We're doing 12 stitches all the way around. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And we're going to slip stitch to our first stitch. And there's a way to do an invisible decrease. Pick up the next 2 stitches, front loops only, and make single... Yes. Yeah, I've heard of that. Again, I'm just following this pattern. I'm by no means an expert in amigurumi. This is some of like the very first ones that I've ever done. So we just made it a little bit bigger, a little bit longer. So that was round number 6. Okay. Round number 7 is exactly the same as round number 6. So chain 1, and then in the next stitch, do a single, and then you're going to go all the way around. You should have 12. So I just did 2 stitches. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And I'm going to slip stitch into my first stitch. Just do a couple things I usually... that's great. I love the advice. I love the advice. Isn't that so common to yarn under? Yeah, I've heard of that, doing a lot of yarn unders when doing amigurumis. Again, I'm just following this pattern. And this is going to be a small... I mean, this is a little bit bigger because I think this yarn is slightly bigger, and I might be using a bigger hook that I did on my sample. And again, this is just demonstration purposes. Okay, so that was round number 7. Sounds like you're doing the crochet round starts, a lot more common for amis to be done in a spiral. Yes, yes. Again, I wanted I wanted to do the leaves, and I saw the acorn. I was like, oh, that's so cute. So I'm just following their pattern. But yeah, I've heard a lot of it you just do in a spiral instead of the rounds, individual rounds that I'm doing. So we have one more round to do, but before we do that, we're going to stuff it. Never paid attention to that. Guess I got to try tomorrow. Yeah, I've heard the yarn under is more common in amigurumis. I don't think I've ever done a yarn under in my life. Okay, we're going to get some of our stuffing. That's probably way more than enough that I need. Now, this was not a magic circle. I really could have done a magic circle, but I didn't. But this part here is going to be hidden under the cap of the acorn. This is going to be the bottom, or the pointed part of the acorn. So you're not really going to see any of this. It's going to be hidden. I crochet the same way in all projects. So I'm going to take the stuffing. This is just polyester stuffing. And I'm going to stuff it in. I made a hat that the pattern called for yarn under, and it felt all kinds of wrong and awkward. Yeah. Well, if you're not used to doing it that way, if it's a slightly different maneuver. Okay. I think I tend to do yarn over, but occasionally notice that when I'm spacing out, do a mix of both yarn over and yarn under. I mean, if you look real close, you can see a difference, but that's if you're looking really, really close, and if you know what you're looking for. I'm going to give a little extra stuffing there. Alright, for round number 8, so we have 12 stitches all the way around. And yes, you will be able to see the stuffing in mine, because I am using a bigger hook, and I probably overstuffed it. But, like Llama said, smaller hook and tighter stitches might help with that. But just a sample. I'm going to end up frogging this out anyway. I'm going to keep this one here. So we have 12 stitches all the way around. So this last round, we're going to end up with 6. So we're going to be doing single crochet, 2 together, 6 times around. So we're doing all the decreases. So go into the first, and then go into the second, and go through all of them. So that's one, the first, and the second. Yarn over through all of them. That's 3, and then 1 in the second, and then that's 4. I think that's 4. Yeah, sounds good to me. 1 in the second, one. That's 5. The first and the second, and that should be 6. Yeah, we're near here. Okay. What they also want us to do is, you're not going to chain or anything right now. Actually, no, we will chain. We'll chain 1. And we're going to cut a long tail. Pull it through. And we're going to get our needle, if I can find my yarn needle. Just got curious, I had to try. Good thing I have my scrap and hook jars on my desk at all times. I do yarn over, yeah. So I'm going to thread my needle. And we're not fully closed yet. So what they want us to do is we're now going to, and it's good that these stitches are open. We're going to go weave in and out. We're not going to go through the yarn itself. We're going through these holes. So the holes of the stitches. So we're going to yarn in and out of all of them. And what we're doing is we're going to make a drawstring. And this is going to help cinch it closed. And it's going to form, we'll end up forming the little, there's a little a little loop here at the bottom. Because a lot of the acorns have a little end, if you touch a real acorn, that end there's like a little bit. It's a little, not sharp, but it's a little rough. It's like the little pointed end. So we're going to cinch that up. And yeah, you can shape it. So I'm going to cinch it up. And then, I could have cinched it up a little bit better, but that's fine. And then we're going to go and put the needle in through the end there and through the other side. And we're going to leave that little loop. It might look better if I had thicker yarn. But that's going to be our little loop. My acorn's a little on the fat, chunky side. Instead of more long, this is a little more round. But I'm going to leave that loop slightly long, not too long. That loop right there. Again, it works better in an acrylic or a wool yarn instead of a cotton. And then all we're going to do here is I'm just going to go through a few stitches to secure it, but I'm not going to pull real tight that I lose the loop. I'm going to keep the loop down there. And I'm just going to do a few stitches to secure it in. And then we're going to set that to the side. That is the body of the acorn. Now we're going to make the cap. Move my stuffing. And I'm going to do it in this off-white color. The cap is only 5 rounds instead of 8, so it's a lot less. We're going to chain 5 and slip stitch into the second chain. So let's start this real quick. So let's chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slip stitch into the second chain. And we're going to slip stitch into the next 3 chains. 1, 2, and 3. So we slip stitch in all of that. Now we're going to chain up 3 more. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to slip stitch into the last chain of the stalk. That is the stalk we made, I guess the stem. And what this is doing, we're going to slip stitch into that. difficult to see, but that is forming a ring here. There is a ring right in the center, those 3 chains, and then we slip stitch, we're forming a ring. We're going to work with this ring. This is going to be the stem of the acorn. That right there is round number 1. Now we're going to chain 1, and into that ring. It's going to be weird because we're going to have this stem coming out, but into the ring we're going to put 6 single crochets, but you're going to do a couple here, and then you're going to go. Thank you for the follow, Absy Doodles. How are you? Welcome to my channel. I am the Crafty Cub. I stream either 4 or 5 nights a week, mostly crochet. Actually, all I've really done is crochet. We are on our Woodland theme. We're doing our leaves and acorns. I'm in the process of making a amigurumi acorn. I don't know how well this is going to happen, but so into this ring, we're going to do 6 singles. So I'm going to do 1 there. I'm going to do another. So that was 2. Now I'm going to go behind our little stem. So you're going to go behind that and still in the ring, do number 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm doing well. I've been teaching myself crochet, and it's just fascinating. Well, not to toot my own horn, but that is kind of what I specialize in, is teaching stitches. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And even if it's not something I'm doing right now, if you have a question on it, I can stop what I'm doing, pick up another ball of yarn, because there's tons of yarn here, pick up a hook, and I can try to show you or to explain a technique that you might have issues with. So I'm going to slip stitch into the very first one. So doing that, you're making this little stalk or stem come up on the one side of your ring. It's really weird for us crocheters to do something like this, because this is not normally something we do. You don't see, that's not a common thing, but that is so it's going to be at the top of our. We'll end up doing something else to it, so it's kind of centered, but we're not doing that at this moment. So that was round number 1 that we just did. Round number 2, chain up 1, and in each stitch is going to get 2 singles. So 1 and 2. The next one gets stitches 3 and 4. The next one gets 5 and 6. The next one gets 7 and 8. The next one is 9 and 10. And this last one gets 11 and 12, all in the same stitch. Okay. Are we working on the acorn? We are working on the acorn. We have made the acorn body, even though my acorn body is a little bit of a chunky boy, and I probably overstuffed it, and yeah, that didn't turn out too good. I'm also using, I should have used a small, like Llama said, it's probably better to use a smaller hook with an Ami, but for demonstration purposes, this works. This one looks a little bit better, even though it's not stuffed. And we're going to have an ad break here in a second. So before I go any further on the cap, we're going to do the ad. And welcome, Clay Miko, even though I saw you earlier today, but welcome. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to slip stitch into my first stitch. And that would be the end of round number 3 of the cap. So it looks kind of weird. You got this little thing off to the side. It's not really centered. We will center the stalk. So I will be back right after this ad break. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back, everybody. Thank you for sitting through that ad. It helps a lot. So essentially you have a white ring with a skin tag. Pretty much. A really nasty looking skin tag. That's a long skin tag. So that was round number 2. So round number 3, it's going to be just like round number 3 of the body of the acorn. The next stitch will get 1 stitch. The following will get 2. I am going to mark my very first stitch. And we're going to go from 12 to 18. So we're adding 6. So the first stitch gets 1. The next gets 2. 1 and 2. Okay. The next stitch gets 1. The following gets 2. 1 and 2. First gets 1. And the next gets 2. We're just making a disc at this point. That gets 1. And this gets 2. Let me see how many we have. We should have 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15. I gotta add more stitches. This one gets 1, and then this last one will get 2 stitches. Come on. And we're gonna slip stitch to where our stitch marker is to join. What they say now to do is to to feed the stem or the skin tag through that hole in the center. And there we go. Tell you the truth, I think I should have had the stem on the bottom and we would feed it up to the top. So my cap is going to be backwards. Now it looks like something else. We're not going to go there. Alrighty. So that was round number 3. Round number 4 is the same as round number 4 in the body. Chain 1 and then every stitch gets 1 single. So 1, 2, we're not doing an increase. So I'm going to mark my first stitch. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, oh, and that stitch is right there, number 18. Do they have all udders? Yeah. And I did that as cleanly as I could. Well, you know what? I can make, oh, you know what? I can make just the caps. Well, actually, no, they're not as interesting. Maybe I make the caps and then add something to them. And then, I don't know if you all know the Moco Maids here on Twitch. Derek and Devin. Well, Tuesdays on their stream, they stream in the afternoons. They have something called Titty Tuesday, and Derek wears tassels on his shirt, and he can wiggle, and yeah, it's a sight to be seen. So, I can make little pasties and send them to the Mocos. I'm not doing that, no. That's just weird. That's just even too weird for me. Alrighty, so that was round number 4. We have one more round. And this is the same as round number 5 of the body. So we're going to chain 1. The first one gets a single. And then the next 2 are single crochets 2 together. 1 and 2 together. So we're doing a decrease on this. Just joined, and what I heard was Titty Tuesday. Okay, Grammy, you don't know the Moco Maid channel. Moco Maid, on Tuesdays, they stream from noon Eastern to 6 p.m. Eastern. And when they get a new, is it a new follower or a raid? I think it might be both. Derek, it's a brother-sister team. Derek does leather work. Devin is an artist. She paints. And they're great. They're wonderful. They got a whole team. There's actually, if you've ever been to a bunch of channels on Twitch, are part of the Loco team. Traveling Tatter, Black Sheep Meat, Kim for the Day, Pick Stitch, Vintage Sogal, a whole bunch of them. That's just to name a few. There's tons more. And it's just not makers and crafters. And they kind of help each other, network, and support each other. Well, Tuesdays is called Titty Tuesdays. And Derek, he's got these tassels that they're magnetic, I think, that clip to his shirt. And and he's all different color ones. And they have long tassels. And when somebody comes in and follows or raids, mainly follows, but both, and he says Happy Titty Tuesday, and he's just doing this type of thing, and they're spinning all around. Yes, so you heard right. Titty Tuesday. I've instantly thought of Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. I'm letting my man boobs out to celebrate Tuesday. Alrighty, and I thought Tuesdays were all about tacos. Now I know tacos and titties. Tacos and titties. Alrighty. So, the repeat is the first stitch gets a single, and then the next two are single, two together. So we're going from 18 back down to 12. Single, and then two together. There's one, and then these are two together. And this is kind of curling it in. If you have ever seen a cap of a mushroom, they do kind of curl back in because that's what holds on to the body of the acorn. That, and then one, and then do this two together. And then I'm going to slip stitch to join. I'm going to chain one, cut my yarn, pull through, pull tight. Didn't realize lizard had tits. No, they don't breastfeed their young. They're a reptile. Alrighty. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to weave in my green. Because now we are to the point that we can join the cap to the body. So I'm going to weave in my green and cut it. I've already weaved it in a few times. I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to do a little simple knot. Pull it kind of snug. Again, this part is going to be hidden inside the cap. You're not going to see it. And I'm going just cut it. I've weaved it in like multiple times. This lizard has glandular problems. If you follow the YouTube video, all they say is they say open it and try to get it in there, and then that's how they connect it. They don't stitch it down. I'm stitching it down. So, the way I'm going to do it is we're at the edge of the cap, and I want to be towards the center. So I'm going to carefully just go through some stitches, and this is on the inside, and get to the center of the cap, not the center of a Tootsie Pop. That's an owl. Tomorrow we're doing the owl. Not the owl from the Tootsie Pop commercial. That would be cool. Tomorrow's owl is an applique, not an amigurumi. So I'm just getting to the center, inside center of this cap. Might want to have your thyroid checked, yeah. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find my bottom end of my acorn kind of sucks. But again, I think I overfilled them. That is supposed to come to more of a point, kind of. But it didn't really work that well. But this is the part that's going to be hidden. So I'm just going to stitch. Again, this is coming from the center of the cap. And I'm going to go to the center of my acorn. And I'm just going to stitch just through the center, wherever I can get it. It's not too important. It's all going to be hidden. I'm going to keep it as centered as possible. And this is the way I do it. So we've joined it, and now I'm going to stitch up through the center of the cap, right next to the stalk, or we've established that's the skin tag. And we're going to try to pull through, but when we do that, because we've got 2 strands here, because we're sewing it together. I'm going to take my needle off real quick, because I don't need it right now. And I'm going to ease the cap around the body of the acorn, if this is possible. I think I made him a little too chunky for this cap. Again, I am no professional amigurumi maker. There's plenty other people on Twitch that do amis. I am not the go-to person. So I'm going to get it down as snug as possible. It's kind of like putting a plastic shopping bag onto an oversized watermelon. It's not that easy to do. Alright, I'm going to pull. That's the one that was stitched to it. I'm trying to pull it too much that distorts the stitches. And then, again, this one looks horrible because he's overstuffed. But then you can stitch them. This one looks really, really bad. This one looks horrible. Sorry, everybody. Having an off day. But you can stitch it on with your yarn and your needle to attach it better. And you can clip it, or you can leave it long and make a little hanger, and it can be an ornament. This one looks a whole lot better. Looks a whole lot better. My sample does. Yeah, he's overstuffed. The cap's gonna pop right off. So I could have done better, but again, I'm a beginner at amigurumis. So that is the acorn. Believe it or not, these are the exact same pattern. The again, overstuffed, and I should have used a smaller hook. Yeah, this is gonna get frogged. This is really gonna get frogged. It's horrible. Alrighty. So that was the amigurumi acorn from HappyBerry Crochet. We're now going to switch, and I got to change the title thing, so bear with me, everybody. Let's see here. Let me just copy something. Oh. I'm having technical difficulties here, everyone. There we go. I usually toss my rejects to my dog. Yeah, don't have a dog here. We're gonna disable the acorn. And where did we put this? We're gonna switch over. So we're gonna switch over to something a little more what I'm used to. A granny square. This is from a YouTube channel called Kristyn Crochets. It's called I'm calling it the Spiral Weaves Granny. It is only a 6-round repeat. Believe it or not, this is only 6 rounds. We're going to start with the leaves, the hardest part, and it's really not too difficult. It's the same thing, but 8 times. And where did I put? Oh, it's over here. I got to get my light yellow color. You can do your center leaves at any color combination you want. You can do them all the same. You can alternate them. You can change them up like I did here every second one. You can alternate every other one. Each one could be different. You can have 8 different colors. I'm going to do 4 different colors for the leaves. For the leaves, we're going to do an orange, our green, a sunshine yellow, a pale butter yellow. That's actually yellow. It's coming up on camera as white. And then an off-white. The off-white will be the background. We don't need the off-white right now. We need our colors first. And I'm not going to put the yellows together. I'm going to stagger them. So I'm going to start with this darker golden yellow. If anybody is crocheting along with me, and I should have mentioned this before, let me know, and I can go a little slow for you. I don't want to confuse anyone more than I usually do. Alrighty. So whatever color you want your first leaf to be, get your leaf color. And if all your leaves are the same, that's your color. Alrighty, we're going to do a magic ring. And into the magic ring, first we're going to chain 1. And then into the ring, we're going to do 8 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So again, magic ring, chain 1, and then 8 singles into the ring. We're going to pull it somewhat tight, and we're going to slip stitch to the first single that we made. And that will be, technically that's the first round, technically, but this is just calling that the magic ring round. Crocheting a ghost face at the moment. Took me forever to find my written pattern pile of notebooks. Ooh, I would like to see what that looks like when you get more progress on it. So let me zoom in a little. 8 singles into the ring. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alrighty. Round number 1, official round number 1, is the longest round of this square. Round number 1 is where we're going to form all of these leaves in round 1. I guess you can call this here round 0. Okay, round 1, we're going to chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you're going to end up doing this from here to when you finish it 8 times, because this will be 1 leaf. And you're going to do that all the way around. So we're going to work into this chain, in and around this chain, to form 1 leaf. So you're going to end up repeating this 8 times. Chain 8, and we're going to slip stitch into the 5th chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slip stitch into the 5th chain, and that forms a loop here at the end, a really big picot. So we're going to we're going to work with that. So we slip stitch into the 5th one down. We're now going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to drop our original ring. We're going to focus on this pika that we made. And we're going to do 5 double crochets into that ring. So our main original ring we're going to drop down, and the ring at the end of the chain. Remember, we slip stitch into the 5th. After we slip stitch to form a ring, we're going to chain up 3, and into this ring we're going to do 5 doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We got our 5 doubles into the ring. Now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And into the same ring, we're going to do 5 more doubles. 1, 2, 3. Whoops. I got to redo. Oh, we did 3. So there's 3. Here is number 4. And there is number 5. Now we're going to chain 3. And we're going to slip stitch into the ring. And usually, yeah, that's how we're going to do it. Okay. So we're going to slip stitch into the ring. That right there is the first round of the first leaf. It's already starting to look like a leaf. Now we're going to chain 1, and right here, between your 5 double crochets, there's a chain 3 space here. So into this chain 3 space, we're going to put in 3 singles into that space. 1, 2, and 3. Those 5 doubles we have here, each of those 5 doubles will get a single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Into this space that we have, we're going to put in a single, a half double. So put in a single and a half double. We're going to chain 2 and then put in another half double and a single. We just made the point of our leaf. The next 5 stitches here, these 5 doubles, are each going to get a single. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Into this chain space here, we're going to get 3 singles. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to slip stitch into the very first single we did. That's right there. So we've completed the leaf, believe it or not. Slip stitch into that. And now this chain that's underneath the stem that's connected to the main ring, we're going to skip the first chain, and there's 2 more chains. We're going to slip stitch into each of those chains. So slip stitch in, oops, let's slip stitch it, come on. Slip stitch 1, and then we're going to slip stitch into the last chain. We're back now at our original ring. We're now going to slip stitch into the next stitch of our original ring. And from there, we're going to repeat that. So I'm going to make another yellow one. So we're going to chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, there's 5, 6, 7, and 8. We're now going to slip stitch into the 5th from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, let me double check check that's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth from the hook, slip stitch, and that forms a ring. So we're working on this second ring. We're not worried about our main ring. And into that ring, we're going to do 5. Oh, no. No. We're not doing that. Got ahead of myself. Now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And now into this ring, we'll do 5 doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Chain 3. And then into the ring, we'll do 5 more doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Chain 3. And now slip stitch into the ring. Hope I'm not confusing everybody. So that is the first round of the next leaf. See, it's a leaf shape. Into this chain space here, we're going to do 3 singles. 1, 2, 3. Then in each of the doubles, there's 5 doubles there. They're each going to get a single. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Into this space, this is going to be the point of our leaf. Gets a single, a half double, chain 2, and then still in that space, do a half double and a single. Now we have the 5 doubles here on this side. Each get a single. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And in this space here gets 3 singles. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to slip stitch to our first single in that round, which that one's going to be a little on the tight side. Slip stitch into that. Now we're going to find the stem of this leaf. Skip the first one, and then the first 2 chains are slip stitches down the chain. And now we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch of our main original ring. Now is the time I'm going to change colors. So before I do finish that slip stitch, I'm going to finish it with this green. Oops, come on. Finish that. Pull that tight. And now I continue the same thing again. You're going to have all of these leaves. You're going to have a total of 8 of them because we had 8 singles in our original center ring. And just so it's not too much of a mess, I am going to clip the yellow here so I don't have that connected to the ball. And we're going to do that again. So we're going to chain up 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 5th one from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to slip stitch to form another ring. And that's the ring we're going to focus on for this leaf. So we got our ring here. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. This notebook is of when I hadn't started putting down the hook size I used for the pattern. I'm starting to think I used a bigger hook than what I'm currently using because the head looks small, but that's fine. Yep. I think I've had some patterns like that that I wrote down. I don't even know if I have the patterns anymore, and I didn't note certain sizes. So we got our ring here, and then we've chained 3, and into the ring we're going to put 5 doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Going to chain 3, and into that ring we're going to put 5 more doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Chain 3 and slip stitch into the ring, and that is the first round of this leaf. Into this space here at the corner of this leaf gets 3 singles. 1, 2, 3. Each of the doubles get a single. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This hole here gets a single, a half double, and then 2 chains, and then a half double and a single. So there's the half double, and there's the single. The next 5 stitches each get a single. 2, 3, 4, 5. This space gets 3 singles. 2, 3. Slip stitch to that first single of that round. Find our stem, skip the first one, and the next 2 chains each get a slip stitch. That can be pulled tighter because that was my color change. The very next stitch gets a slip stitch, and repeat the leaf again. We've only done 3 leaves. We're going to do a total of 8. This is all round 1. So there's a lot involved. If you break it down leaf by leaf, it's not too difficult. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 5th from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do a slip stitch to form the ring we're going to work with. Chain 3, and in the ring gets 5 doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to chain up 3, and in the ring we're going to put 5 more doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Chain 3 and slip stitch into the ring. That is the first round of this leaf. And we're going to repeat. So in the space here gets 3 singles, and then each of these stitches gets a single. This is going to be the tip of the leaf, so it's a single, a half double, 2 chains, a half double, and a single, all in that space. And we're going to work back down the other side of the leaf. 2, 3, 4, 5. This last space gets 3 singles. Slip stitch into our first single of that little round, and now skip the first chain, and then the next 2 chains slip stitch, and now I'm going to slip stitch to the next ring, but I'm going to do a color change. I'm going to switch over to the pale yellow. So I'm going to cut my tail. Choosing these colors because they're the ones I have that are light enough to show up on stream. You can always change this for whatever decor or season. They look really good in the autumn colors. They could be done whatever color. So chain up 8. We're doing our 5th leaf now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 5th from the hook. 2, 3, 4, 5. Slip stitch into that chain without splitting the yarn too much. And now we're going to focus around this ring. Again, chain up 3. And in the ring, put 5 doubles. 2, 3, 4, and 5. So what is everybody working on? I know was that yeah, Spoopy Skellingtons is working on a ghost face. Let me check this. So I'm going to finish the rest of the leaves here without explaining because it's the same thing for all 8. Desperately hoping these zombies drop iron ingots from our monster farms. Nice. When I get to the end of this round and we start the second round, then I will give instructions on how it's done. This is just the same thing over again 8 times. Hey there. Oh, I forgot how to pronounce your name. Sue. Thank you, Llama. Gotten 8 in the past 4 hours. Oh, wow. How are you? As if we aren't in a call playing blocks right now. I figured that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Farming potatoes and building chicken coops. Nice. Yeah, I've done my share of farming in that game. Whoopsies. Playing for the past 8 hours. Wow. 1, 2, 3. Still on the grind. Yeah, that can happen. Okay, I'm going to pull that tight, slip stitch into the next. 2. 2, 3. Two, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3. Slip stitch into you. And now I can ready to do. Oh, I am finishing up my 6th leaf. 2, 3. 5, and then a half double, and a half double, and a single. 2, 3, 5. I don't know if everybody was here at the beginning of the stream, but I did not go to the Project Linus meeting today at my local chapter because it got canceled, which is a bit of a bummer, but those things happen. Okay. I'm going to switch to my 4th color. When we get done this round, and before I start the 2nd round, believe it or not, I'm still on round number 1. I think I will share pictures of the blankets that I have made for Project Linus. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5. So I just got these 2 leaves to do. Oops, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. We're gonna slip stitch that. And I know looking at this pile looks like a mess, but this will be a square. Slip stitch into you. My join was acting weird. Alrighty, this is going to be my last leaf. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 5. And now we're going to slip stitch. Got one more round for this leaf. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Alright, last couple stitches of this color. If I can do a slip stitch, slip stitch into that. I'm going to chain 1, cut you, pull through. So we've done our 8 leaves, and the best way to do it now, and you can weave in your ends whenever, but I'm going to layer my leaves. So I'm going to take the first one, and then it doesn't matter if they're like this or if they're layered the opposite way, but however you want to layer them. You just gotta do that type of thing where they're overlapping each other, and we'll end up forming them into points. Key is to do it on the back side, and I'm gonna do something I normally wouldn't do. I'm gonna tie these together just to get them out of the way. I'm just tying my tails. Normally I don't put knots like this in my work. Again, this is just a sample. I'm just going to trim my tails somewhat short just to get them out of here. Alrighty. I'm going to get 8 stitch markers, and I'm going to get colors that are contrasting to what we have. So I'm going to get some blues and some purples. 2 more purple, just so I'll be able to see them. So this is the back side. So I'm going to lay out the arrangement, how I want them to overlap. So they're going to overlap their partner, the one next to them. It doesn't have to be perfect right now. Again, ignore my little tails and ends. I just did that real quick. So, what we're going to do is we're going to find one, and we're going to count back 6 stitches from the tip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then, is it the 7th one? I think it's 6. Hey there, Dan. How are you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the 6th one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's actually in the 5th one. And the 5th one from the tip, you're going to put in a stitch marker. So the tip is here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the 5th one, put a stitch marker. When we go to join, to do round 2, we're going to be working in that 6th stitch. So it doesn't matter if they're overlapped like this, or if they're overlapped like this. Whatever is the part that isn't overlapped, that's where we're going to join. I'm going to join mine like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Put in a stitch marker. This is going to help get us all set up for round 2 when we make this, start to get this into a square. 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And this way, you won't have to count when we do that. These will show you where the stitches, where your stitch will go. Okay, lazy day for you. That's always good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's nothing wrong with a lazy day, unless you needed to get something done. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And these last 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Alrighty then. So I've marked the 5th stitch all the way around. And I'm going to get my square color. My square is going to be this off-white. And in round 2, where we're going to work on the back sides. We're going to connect these together and then start forming the foundation for the square. So, let me double check. Okay, we're going to start with a standing single crochet. I'm going to pick one of my leaves. I'm going to pick this yellow one, and not where the stitch marker is, the next one, so it's the 6th one. I'm going to do a standing single. Actually, I need to have the yarn on the other side. I'm going to do a standing single crochet into that stitch. I'm going to chain 4. Find the next leaf. The stitch to the left of the chain of the stitch marker, go in, do a single crochet, chain 4. Go to the next leaf, find the stitch to the left of the stitch marker, and do a single. And that's what you're going to do all the way around. 2, 3, 4. This way you don't have to sit there and count each one. You've already done the counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. And do that. 2, 3, 4. And we got an ad coming up. While we're at ad, I'll continue working on this to join all of these leaves into a well, joining them together to prepare them for being a square. And there we go. I've done all of that. It's going to force them all to come a little closer. And I will be back right after this ad break. And welcome back, everybody. Thank you for sitting through the ad. Okay, so that was round number 2. We basically joined all the leaves together. Now we are going to chain 2 and flip over to the front side now. So, in that single crochet that's here, we're going to, oh, that's kind of difficult. You can't even get in there. Wait a minute. We're not going to do that. I should have slip stitched in a different spot. So when you finish this, after your last chain 4, you're going to slip stitch into your single. That's where I didn't do that. Chain 2 and turn, and now into that single, we're going to do a triple crochet, a chain 2, and in that same stitch, do 3 triples. It's all getting twisted. One, two, and 3. This is going to be a corner. That will be a corner. Now, we're going to chain 1, and into this chain space here, we're going to put in 3 singles. 1, 2, 3. Chain 1, and in the next chain space, do 3 singles. 1, 2, 3. Into this single crochet, we're going to do 3 triples. 1, 2, 3, 2 chains, and then 3 triples. So our corners are 3 triples, 2 chains, 3 triples. And then we're going to repeat that all the way around. So this space, we got to do a chain 1. In this space, do 3 singles. 1, 2, 3. Chain 1. Into the next chain space, do 3 singles. 1, 2, 3. Now chain 1, and into this single here we're going to do our corner. 1, 2, and 3, 2 chains, and 3 triples. 1, 2, 3. Chain 1, and into the space, do 3 singles. Chain 1, into this space, do 3 singles. Chain 1, and now we're going to put another corner here. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and then 3 more triples. 2, 3, chain 1, 3 singles. Getting near the end, chain 1, 3 singles. 1, 2, 3, and into that stitch we're going to put 2 more triple crochets. and then we'll slip stitch to join into there. We're getting square. Not there yet. So, let me get some slack. Round number 4. And in round number 4, we're going to slip stitch into our corner here. And we're going to chain up 3 and do a double crochet. Chain 3. Wrong. I was wrong there. So we're going to chain up 3 and do 2 double crochets. Chain 3. And then in the corner do 3 more doubles. 2, 3. Chain 1. And then into this space here, 3 doubles, 2, 3 doubles, chain 1, and into this space do 3 doubles, 2, 3, chain 1, into this space do 3 doubles, 2, 3, chain 1, and then we come up to the corner. And essentially this round and the next 2 rounds are a basic granny square round. So it's a chain 3 for the corner, 3 doubles, chain 3, 3 doubles for the corner. 1, 2, 3, and now chain 1, find that space that's here, and do your 3 doubles, 2, 3, chain 1, find your space that's right here, and do your 3 doubles, your traditional granny stitch. 1, find the space, 2, 1, another corner, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm just putting these granny groupings in these spaces from the row below. Almost finished this round. 1, 2. Lost that stitch. Chain 1, and now our last full corner. Chain 2, and do our 1, 2, 3. I'm on our last side of this round. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, And now I'm going to slip stitch to the top of that there. And now the next 2 rounds are going to be regular granny squares, which I'm not going to end up doing because it's a basic granny square. So when it's done, it'll be 2 more rounds at least. And let me get this out of the way. You can take your stitch markers off, but I'm going to do that later. Just imagine 2 more rounds of this, but then you take your leaves, and blocking them would help, and forming them into more of a leaf shape. That's your spiral leaf square. You would just add more rounds of the granny. I like it better in the fall colors, but it looks good in these bright citrusy colors as well. And that is that. Pretty simple. Looks more complicated than it really is. Alrighty. I think we're going to call it a night. Again, thank you everybody for joining me. So we did our spiral leaf square. We did our oak leaf applique and our acorn amigurumi, which the one I showed on live sucked, but I was using cotton yarn. I was using a bigger hook. I'm not really proficient in amis, so what do you got? Sneak peek for tomorrow. I will be on tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Tomorrow is a continuation of our Woodland theme, and we will start with our critters. So our first critter, and I don't know how well you're going to see it, even with some white paper behind it. You're probably not going to see it. And when I do it on stream, I'm going to pick a gray color. But we've got a squirrel. You can kind of almost see his eyes. I don't know why I chose black, but there's little eyes and a nose. So we got a little squirrel with a fuzzy little tail. So we got a squirrel. Again, I need lighter colors. And cute little owl. Tomorrow will be these 2 appliques. So I'm excited. The owl is like one of my all-time favorites that I made. Again, not my patterns, but fun. Adds a little joy to many projects. And let me see if I finished all them. The white backer is probably messing with the brightness. Well, oh, you can kind of see it there. Again, the one I'm going to do on stream, I'm going to do in probably a gray color. I don't have any gray eyelash yarn that I know of. I have to go through my novelty yarn to double check. But that's a good use of novelty. Somewhat how cameras, yeah, they're lighting. But we're going to do our little squirrel and owl friends tomorrow night. On Monday, the plan is we've got 4 little squares, and these 4 squares are all from the same creator. Let me double check something, and I don't want it to play. Yeah. The 4 squares we're going to do on Monday are all from the same channel, and they all kind of coordinate. They're little, simple little animal faces. We're going to do a little deer square. Pretty cute. And all of the squares start out exactly the same. The only difference is how to do the ears, and they do ears and the antlers for the deer. All the other ones, they don't put like details for eyes and nose. I added those because I think they looked a little bit better with a little detail. So we have a little deer. We're going to have a raccoon. I added some details. We're going to have a fox. And then a little bear. So these are the little woodland friend, little squares. You can make a whole bunch of these, and it'd be a cute little foresty type blanket. So that is on Monday. Tuesday, we're going to do a fox applique head. Real cute and simple. Be a good patch for something, like a decorative patch. And let me get the other thing that we're going to be doing on Tuesday. I blocked it. And hold on one moment here as I get this all ready. I got to take pins out because it's been blocking for a couple days. Couple more pins. Alrighty. So the other week here on stream, it was back sometime in August. And they're not on at the moment. My follower Jay-Z Sketch had found a image of something, of a crocheted item, but didn't have the pattern. But then another follower, and I don't remember who the one that was, on that stream found the pattern. It's a chart, and it is crochet cotton, so it is real thin. But Tuesday, in addition to our fox, we will be doing the crochet thread bear head. I love this. This one is very, very detailed, but somewhat simple because it's a lot of chains. And I think what I'm going to end up doing is mounting this into a shadow box and hanging it because I really, really think it's adorable. So that is our little creature friends that will be coming up starting tomorrow. So that is those 3 days. On Thursday, for Throwback Thursday, we will be having our special guest. Again, if all things go to plan, I don't want to have to postpone one more time. So we'll be having our special guest on Thursday for Throwback Thursday. What else? I think that was it. We're not going to do work on our Project Linus blanket tonight because I needed to play catch up. And I think what we will probably end up doing, we may, let me see if I can find somebody to raid. Oh, no, I don't want that. Let's see, what's going on here? I don't see anything there. Oh, come on. Come on, Twitch. Yeah, I think we're gonna go raid somebody. I gotta wait for an ad to quit running so I can see what they're actually doing. before I commit to a raid. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So, again, I'll be on tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern Time for our owl and our squirrel appliques. Reminder, I have a Discord. Check out the Discord. I will be posting some pictures there probably tomorrow. Check out the YouTube channel. All of my streams are uploaded to the YouTube channel after I'm done. So you can look back on previous streams. I do have a merch store. The merch message just popped up. I've added 2 new items to the merch store. They are the same yarn logo. Well, not image. The yarn ball. And they say Proud Dirty Hooker in the 2 versions, the pink and the blue. And they are stainless steel, 32-ounce stainless steel water bottles. It's got a screw cap, and I think there's a straw. And I think it flips open. Yeah, obviously it'll flip open. So check that out. I've got a couple other ideas for the merch store rattling around in this head. I still have to finalize those. So I think that's it for tonight. Everybody, have a good night. We're going to go raid KB Fibers. They are another fiber artist here on Twitch. Currently, they are working on a pair of socks, knitting a pair of socks. This bright yellow and this blue color. I know they tat, they crochet, they latch hook, they weave. They do a whole bunch of different things. So, stick around for the raid. We're going to go join them. Show them some love. A fellow fiber artist. And I will talk to you tomorrow night.